I'm pretty sure this isn't what you'd like to see when you go on the website of a project you've invested in, your hard-earned money, and that's what you see. All right? So today I'm going to talk about the failures of these types of projects in the hedge fund crypto trading niche. Yes, I have spoken about these on the channel in the past. I have explained them. I have, giving them some attention, but I've never chilled them. I've never gave any referral links. Out of these three, I have invested in one and it failed, even though it had some good stuff going for it. But today we're gonna talk about all the connecting points between these three and others that have failed us as well on top of them, and basically draw a conclusion and see where we go from there. Let me just preface everything I'm about to say by giving you a few notes about these projects. Now, yes, I did discuss them on the channel before, I given them an overview and all of that. But there was never any referral link, there was never any motivation to invest in these. It was always very objective and labeling the pros as well as the cons. Now, full disclosure, the only project that I have invested in out of these three is Summit Ventures, all right? For me, it looked a bit more promising, but then it also failed, unfortunately. So, yeah, so all you can do here, you cannot figure these out from the get-go. You cannot figure that these guys are gonna take your money and run away, because they all have the same function in their audit contract where they can take money and then move them around. And that's part of the business model that they provide, so the hedge fund crypto trading model. And that's something so all you can do is trust the owners themselves. All right, that's all you can do. And that brings me to the commonalities between these three and others as well. They are all centralized at the end of the day, right? So nothing happens on chain other than you depositing and withdrawing. Everything else happens behind the scenes. They take the money, they go to the broker, they trade, and they give you money back. So if you don't trust them, then you should never invest. The illusion of transparency is there as well. So the illusion of full transparency, so to speak, because they do dangle a carrot in front of you and they give you some transparency related figures, metrics, so on and so forth. So they show you this, but at the end of the day, nothing is fully on chain out there. So like Delta Ventures, where they were about to provide you APIs on their trading, so on and so forth. And like Summit Ventures, when they registered the company that they're supposedly working with, and then they wanted to also give more alpha on their trading bots. So all of these things are transparency related. So they're giving you something, but that's just a bit of, a bit to chew on whilst everything else is going on behind the scenes. And the interesting pattern here is that when they're about to give you these things, then they vanish. It happened with Delta Ventures, it happened with Summit Ventures. But that's the very interesting part that has this pattern very intriguing behind it, all right? So at the end of the day, all right, only treat them like you would treat an ROI DApp or a shitcoin, honestly. Like don't go there expecting that you're gonna make riches from something that is all tied around you trusting a person or a particular set of themes. You shouldn't, all right? And here's the thing. At the end of the day, when we talk about their ability to generate profits and the performance fee they take, if they really want to be legit, they will end up more profitable and in a much better position if they keep going with the model and they keep giving money to people instead of taking it away. Now, sure, an instant gratification payday of, let's say, 300K is better than getting 10K per month or whatever in performance fees. But if you get that money eventually and you build a reputation, more people invest in you, and then you slowly decentralize the process, that is 100 times better than trying to build trust and then taking it all away. You're not only getting gratification in terms of financial incentives, you're also getting gratification in terms of personal incentives and a social status at the end of the day. But that's just my opinion, all right? And that doesn't mean that there won't be more reviews of such projects on this channel. I have one coming up, it's called the Legacy Project, and I have covered Golden Goose. So those two so far at least are holding the fort. Now Golden Goose hasn't rocked yet. I hope they won't. Again, you have to trust them. That's one. Legacy hasn't started yet. So they say that they will even be much more transparent, but even with that, even if they don't shrug and take your money, it's time for a change. And here's what I'm talking about. Right now, if you look at the shift in terms of sex versus DEX volume, yes, true, DEX volume is about 10% of sex volume, but that trend line keeps going up. So if you look at the trend line right now, you see it's an uptrend pattern. More people are realizing that they should go on a DEX to trade because sexes are robbing them and it's not safe to be there to begin with. They are centralized authorities, so you have to know this. They're easier to trade with and that's why they are more popular. But with DEXs bringing easier solutions for people nowadays, for the majority, for mass adoption, volume there should increase, and that's the purpose. That's the purpose of going the decentralized route. So with that in mind, I think the next generation of these types of projects should start building their own bots on a DEX, all right? So a DEX at least will provide constant proof of trading while users can go there and check everything that's going on, and they can have the ability to pull out at any time without the constraint of a third-party broker holding the funds. And that's very important. You have DEXs right now, perpetual DEXs, who give you the option to trade Forex and commodities. So why not use them? You can introduce a multi-sig to tie all of these things together, at least for the get-go, where investors eventually can have full control, and that is the goal. So imagine they set up the bots, they only control the bots, and investors have full control of the money going in and going out, and they don't. And I think that is the end goal that people should head towards. So money is invested, money moves to a DEX, bots trade using that money, and then profits are distributed and users can withdraw at any time. Isn't that the dream, right? I'm not sure coding wise how this can be done yet, but I'm sure it will be at some point. And I think this is the best way to go about this. Now, again, I'm gonna repeat what I said at the beginning. There will always be centralized options. They will always, and I think that trend will keep going. And my hope is that one of them will turn out to be legit, if not more. Like I said, like Golden Goose and the Legacy Project coming soon. But I think even them should consider to move towards a more decentralized option. And if that would be the case, I'm sure many people would trust more, because even if they lose when the bots are trading on a DEX, at least the money is still there, at least the money is not going anywhere. All right, so people are at ease in terms of entering and leaving, knowing that nothing can take that money away from them other than bots shitting the bed and losing it all. Like Mo from Green Figures saying that, this is what happened, I lost everything, but there's no proof. At least there would be proof. All right? And I think that's all I wanted to say here. I just wanted to talk about what happened. I just wanted to label out everything and hopefully talk about change. And that's something that many of us want. And that's something that more people should preach for. All right? And one last thing, our community is pretty cool. It's growing and it has very interesting people where we talk about degen stuff, but mostly real DeFi stuff. If you're not there, consider to join. Link is gonna be below. Pretty chill room, all right? And with that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.